Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald, second Swing Golf, in here at the Minnetonka store with Jake Montgomery, the fitting manager at our Minneapolis store. So you're kind of going across the Twin Cities today for us. But we've got some new Callaway irons to review today for this spring report video. The Callaway Apex irons for 2024 here. I guess we're on the second half of 2024, but last fall was the Apex Pro irons. Now they're adding sort of the standard you would think of as Apex in the player resistance game improvement irons, Jake. So we've got three models here. Yes. One looks a little bit different than the others, but what do you know about these, and what do you expect to see in the performance today?
Yeah, so I have here the Apex Ai300 and the Ai200. The Ai300 is going to kind of fall into that game improvement category. The Ai200 will fall into more of the player's distance category. Mm-hmm. They consider this to be a forged cavity back iron with a forged 455 L-cup face on there as well. So it may be a more game improvement iron in terms of loft, but it offers very, very good feel. Yeah. Both these irons feature that AI smart face, so you're going to see a lot more forgiveness on a miss, better spin control, and then they also feature that MIM weighting. So they're going to be able to control trajectory with the longer irons, with the shorter irons a little bit better. Overall, really excited to get these in the bay and get them tested because Apex has been a great line from Callaway for a long time.
Yeah, it's rare to see a fully forged iron in these categories. Yes, typically absolutely. It's maybe just the face is forged, right? And that's where you might get a forged feel in some cases, but maybe the sound isn't quite a forged iron sound, where maybe it's a hollow body or what have you. But fully forged irons there in the Ai200 and the Ai300, so you should get tremendous feel in addition to a bunch of distance. Yes. Then I also have what they call the Apex Ti Fusion. So this is a completely kind of different thing than I've ever seen. Titanium material fused in there with a forged steel. So what you have is a combination of materials in an iron that's really never happened before. And so you're going to get, it's the same material that's in a driver or a fairway wood, that titanium. And the result is, probably a fantastic sound. I'm very curious to hear what it sounds like, but also you're going to get a ton of speed here, a ton of explosiveness there. So these three additions, Callaway's going to, the name Apex, right? It's been synonymous with some, powerful irons over the years. So these three should live up to that hype as well. Lastly, before testing, we talked about loft a little bit and such. We've got the Ai200, Ai300, and the Ti Fusion here. This one's 30.5. Yep. Those ones are what?
Ai300 is at 29. Ai200 is at 30. So definitely on the stronger side of things, but what we're kind of seeing these days, stronger lofts, but very low center of gravity, so we're still getting high launch angle, high peak height.
Yeah, and actually, it's kind of funny because I would say probably 2-3 years ago, you saw these irons even down into 27. Yeah. So they are kind of almost reversing course a little bit as far as that goes. But ultimately, as we've talked about before, it's more about the launch and the landing angle, things like that when you hit the shots. So should we do some testing?
Absolutely.
All right, so Jake, starting with the Apex Ai300. First, you look down at that club, I imagine you see kind of a relatively larger club head compared to most irons out there.
Sure, but I'll be honest, the top line of this is not off-putting by any means, but I've definitely held irons that look a little less player-driven than this, I would say. Like, the shaping of this is not bad. Top line's a little bit bigger, face is a little longer there, but it doesn't feel like I'm swinging some big brick or anything like that.
Right, okay. Well, that's a good thing, yeah. And I imagine it's been a long time since you've swung a 29-degree 7-iron, so
It's been a little bit. I was a little off the toe there.
Okay. Now we'll just get a few good swings here. And
yeah, definitely forgiving.
That one was a little bit better contact for sure.
Launched a little higher.
And we've got is that the S300?
Yes.
Then
I'm gonna go with S300 mid in black.
Okay. For each iron here, so.
That one I caught fairly well.
Yeah, that was smoked. 130 ball speed there. I did tell you you were gonna hit 200 yards today, and you just did that.
That's a long 7.
All right, so now you've hit some good ones. What are your thoughts on the feel of that thing so far?
Feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel like a hollow iron by any means. There are definitely some irons that I've hit in the past where you can really feel a lot of vibration coming through that head. Yeah. It doesn't. It feels forged, really. It feels very soft coming off. Again, I like the look of it. It's fairly traditional. If I needed a club that was going to give me more ball speed but wanted a more traditional shaping, there's got to be somewhere I'd go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, performance has been pretty solid so far. Obviously, you're hitting the ball very far. Let's see. We have 4 swings. I know your first one you didn't quite catch.
No.
Maybe hit one more. We'll get kind of a good. I know we don't. It depends on. We have fitters that like to keep all of them in there, and some that don't. I think it's more of a process thing. But I actually been pleasantly surprised by the spin on a couple of being 5,000. So
yeah. I'm happy to see the launch and spin where it's at, given where the loft is. It's pretty good.
I feel like a lot of times we do these tests and the spin stays down, with these irons for someone of your swing, kind of in the low 4,000s even. Oh yeah, that is really good. Really, really good.
Smashes. Pretty impressive for a 7-iron.
Well, there's our Ai300 stuff. That's that's a really, really good I guess bar set by the Ai300. I know we're not trying to necessarily compare them against each other in terms of a competition. It's more of just identifying what these irons do. But I think what this iron does is it launches the ball really far and really high with enough spin. I mean,
absolutely.
This is over 5,000 is a pretty darn good mark here for these irons, I think, for this type of iron.
For a game improvement iron, 5,000 spin, launch at 16. My biggest thing is peak height at 108.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that. Now, the way that these irons oftentimes get height is through ball speed. I saw a ton of that. I mean, my 7-iron, I'm usually at around like 124, 125 ball speed. So distance is up. Peak height's around the same where I'd want it to be. So, I mean, if you want to achieve similar flight windows to what you have, if you have a more traditional iron, a little weaker loft on there, but you want some more distance, this would be a great place to look.
Yeah, so as we get to the Ai200, is there anything you expect to happen here with that?
I would say I'd expect ball speed to come down a hair with that loft being about 1 degree weaker. I'd expect to see more spin. Peak height might cross the 115 threshold. Okay. So that'll be something to pay attention to.
All right, let's see what we can do here. All right, Ai200 also worth noting, that is a Titleist Pro V1X golf ball for the test. So I know we get a few comments every once in a while when we do the outdoor videos, like, you use range balls, really? So you guys don't have to worry about that in this video.
Yeah, absolutely. First impressions, definitely a smaller footprint. This looks more like an iron that I would play in the past. A little more compact, toe to heel. Don't notice that top line as much. Okay. See a little bit more loft on that face.
Gotcha.
That was not the best strike.
Not the best strike? Okay. I was going to say that it definitely sounded different.
Caught a little thin.
It sounded a lot softer, but obviously if you caught it a little bit off, that would probably be part of that.
Yeah. That was better.
That one was a little bit more crisp. Ball speed is still up there, similar to the Ai300.
Yeah, 190 carry.
And you did say you said 115 was going to be the height mark here, so we'll see how that plays out in the rest of the shots. Another
little higher
shot
launch.
over 130 ball speed. Yeah.
Okay.
You got that one to 200.
Yeah.
How about it? With a high fade?
This thing feels pretty good.
Is it any softer than the Ai300, or is it
I'd honestly say
similar?
They feel fairly similar.
Okay. That one is fascinating because you pulled it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's still over 5,000 spin, still over 100 feet in the air.
Yeah. I mean, my pulls traditionally are very low left.
Yeah.
I would take that all day long.
Yeah.
I would say the only thing I really feel difference-wise is this head feels a little heavier.
Oh, okay.
With this being a hollow body construction, all being one piece, being a little bit more compact, that can cause that feeling a little bit there. But, I mean, off the face, they don't feel a ton different. We're seeing a little bit more height. I'd be curious to see kind of what my left miss was peaking at with the 300.
Yeah, because you were a little bit more farther left. Let's get one more, and then we'll dive into all that stuff. Because I know we kind of are, at this point anyway, we're kind of have the first shot with each is, I guess, an outlier, so to speak.
That's a lot of balls.
Yeah, you're definitely getting warmed up here. I like it. See, look at how much height.
120 feet in the air.
Okay, so. All right, so here's what we got. And your left misses over here. We were asking about this with the Ai300. This is your farthest left miss. Your height, you're at to 105. I mean, really, you're over 100 with all of them, right? So if we go here, That one's a little left at 116. Okay, 100 there, 113 there. So, and then these ones with height, you know, you're 120 on that last one.
Yeah.
119, 116. You said 115 would be the average. That's what we ended up at, 116.
How do the carry distances compare?
Carry distance, you got 193 to 190, slightly farther with Ai200, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm thinking on the club speed, you were maybe slightly faster with the Ai200. Yeah,
a mile an hour faster.
So,
but my smash factor is still higher.
It's hitting both super efficiently. It did launch higher, right?
Yep.
Half a degree launch higher.
50 RPMs more spin.
Yeah, a little bit more spin. That kind of all makes sense, right? Really good stuff. I am impressed with these two irons so far.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of did exactly what I expected. If you're looking for a little bit more height out of something, but still maintaining ball speed, to maybe go to that 200, little smaller profile.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're performing pretty much how I'd expect them to.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool when they tell you it's going to perform one way because of these materials and this construction, and then it happens.
Yeah.
So, now, speaking of materials and construction and things, let's try this one, the Ti Fusion.
Yeah.
Different look entirely, just because it's got that black finish. But I'm curious on this one, like how explosive is it going to be? How's it going to sound?
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the head I'm most excited to hit.
Yeah. So the Ti Fusion, put that one down. How does it compare? I mean, I know it's completely different color, so it might not exactly. It might be tough to kind of visually, explain that. But the difference in the size between these two and that one, do you think it fits in between them? Is it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the first word that comes to mind is sleek.
Okay.
I would say this honestly looks the smallest to me, especially top line wise, looks very skinny. Now, black irons traditionally do look a little smaller, a little more slender. So that could definitely play a part in that. It definitely looks smaller, but it doesn't look unforgiving. I wouldn't say I notice it being any shorter heel to toe, just more so a little smaller footprint looking straight down.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm very curious to hear this one too.
Yeah, me too.
First swing, I'm actually. Did you hit that? You hit that solid, right?
Slightly thin, but pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good result for a slightly thin shot.
Yeah, probably caught that at just a couple grooves too low. That felt pretty solid.
Yep, that was definitely struck well. We got to 129.6. Okay.
All right.
So you hit that one good. I thought the sound was actually not. I don't know why. I mean, wasn't expecting to be loud, but they kind of promote this idea of the titanium being fused in there, and it's like, oh, it's the same material in drivers and fairway woods. Now it's kind of you picture a club that has that sort of sound.
I definitely expected more of a metal wood
yeah.
kind of sound coming out of it, but it just sounds kind of like an iron.
Yeah.
Feels very solid.
Yeah.
Very solid. That's a big push.
Not bad though. Really.
No, I mean it's not going to kill me. Still carried a pretty good distance. Peak height didn't get way to control.
That's the thing, actually.
That actually surprises me.
I was going to see the carry distance on it. Yeah, I mean, you lost 3 yards of carry distance by pushing it like that.
That's pretty impressive.
Because
generally, that shot for me is 15 yards shorter.
Yeah, that's and a lot more spin, right? Typically,
Yeah.
But that one was. I mean, here if I break it down again, we can see. Spin wise, yeah, it's actually the lowest of the shots so far.
Just more spin because of it.
Yeah. Okay. Right on line though. That's kind of funny that you've basically had. I don't know. You've hit one, I would say, shot here that was like really good of the 4. First one was a slight miss, really good one, open face, but it's like the misses are only like your 2. These are both misses, and they're like they're short of the target, but right on line. Silky smooth swing, over 130 miles an hour. Yep.
Just close the face of hair. I like that height for a pull.
So you're able to get all 3 irons over 200 yards in total. Not bad. Let's see here, just for the sake of consistency, take this guy out. We got 4 good swings with each club. We have some numbers. I know we'll break it down a little bit here, but first, just kind of give me your thoughts on what you see initially here. With either numbers or feel, sound. I do see one thing that jumps out at me is the spin's a little bit higher.
That's my biggest standout for sure is the spin. You can see as we add loft, that spin rate comes up. Our peak height actually remained around the same there. So part of that can be because ball speed jumped around a little bit with the irons too, some being stronger loft than others. The launch angle is all within like 0.5 degrees.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. We're seeing a little less carry out of the titanium. I was swinging that one a hair slower, but that spin rate is causing the ball to go a little bit higher, drop that carry back just a little bit, stopping a little bit faster. They performed, honestly, pretty similar to how I'd expect them to. AI300 was super forgiving, went a long ways, didn't spin a whole ton.
Yeah.
AI200 kind of fell in the middle there. Had some great distance, a little bit more spin, a little more land angle, peak height on there. And then the titanium, I would say, was really the standout to me. I didn't really know what to expect.
I didn't either.
From it too much, but I like seeing that spin rate. It had plenty of ball speed, and I would say of the 3 irons, it probably felt the best to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things too where you kind of, like, I'm just going through each of the shots. I mean, every one of them is comfortably over. I mean, granted, you have even a couple misses here where they're even still 97 feet, 99 feet. This one was 87, but like, they're still plenty high enough.
Yeah, no,
and they're spinning enough.
There's no issue with getting these in the air.
Like, even if you don't catch these, great, you're still going to get a good golf shot out of them, which is a really cool thing about all of these. And then even too, I wanted to mention the fact that you're like this last shot, for example, was a slight pull, right? I mean, it's being a little bit nitpicky. I'm looking at the scale here down here. We're talking about yards here. That's like 40 feet left of your target, which in a lot of cases isn't going to be too much trouble. But you're still hitting it over 5,000 spin, and you're hitting it 110 feet in the air with landing angle of 48.7. So there's not a concern here at all about too low or too little spin.
No, not at all.
Which is really encouraging.
I mean, the biggest standout to me really is this to this. Usually my dispersion looks like this. If I pull it, it's way left.
Yeah, you go way up here.
It's way low right. So seeing those two stay as close together as they are is very encouraging to me that this iron's going to perform pretty well. I mean, no matter where you're missing it.
I mean, look at the carry number on that swing that you pulled, 192. On this one that you hit out to the right, 185. So we're talking about 7 yards.
Really impressive.
Really good. So, all right, let's. We've got some great testing here. Let's kind of wrap things up with the final thoughts.
Perfect.
All right, so Jake, testing complete there. Callaway Apex Iron Editions for 2024, AI200, AI300, and the Ti Fusion. I was really impressed with what I saw there. Plenty of launch, plenty of spin, plenty of height, right? So I think that's the concern with these iron these iron types, iron categories, is the lofts are strong enough where sometimes it's even too strong and the ball can get in the air. But there's absolutely no concern about any of these. No,
I mean, the first thing that jumps out to me, like you said, is just ball speed, peak height. They went a long ways and then went really high in the air. That's what these irons really are designed to do. That's what most golfers come to see me in need of. They kind of fell how I'd expect them to. The AI300 was the most forgiving. Didn't see as much of a drop in ball speed on a good shot versus a missed shot, which you'd expect to see. AI Smart Face was really working, but I mean, all the irons across the board, whether I pulled it or pushed it, there wasn't a huge drop in the distance, which was very impressive to see, because for me, typically, a left shot goes very long, a right shot goes very short. I didn't see that today.
Yeah, that's very encouraging. So I think it gives the golfers that are watching this a lot of, confidence knowing if they put these in the bag, they can swing it and not hit it perfectly, and they're going to get a good performance. So,
absolutely.
All right, let's break these down by model. So we'll start with what I think is probably the largest and most forgiving, AI300. So talk about the players that are going to be be fit into that iron the most.
Yes, so this is a player where they're looking for something that's just going to flat out help them hit it further and make golf easier. Typical game improvement iron, loft reflects that, but the look doesn't per se. I mean, you could play something like this and people would think that you're playing more of a player's iron if that matters to you. The AI200 definitely falls in that player's distance category, as well as the Apex Ti Fusion.
Yeah.
I think they fit two different sides of that category, though, as it's very big. I would say the AI200 is for a player that's going from a more game improvement iron into something a little bit smaller but looking to maintain forgiveness. I would say the Ti Fusion is for someone that is typically playing maybe like an MC or even like a bladed model. And they're looking to get more forgiveness but not give up feel and spin and control.
Okay, so you'd almost kind of rank it as if AI300 is your most user-friendly, as Larry would like to say, and then you'd go to the AI200, which would be kind of moving. It's built very similar, right?
Yes.
But then the kind of the Ti Fusion is that club where maybe a player has been playing smaller irons in the past, but they're just trying to maybe maintain some distance or maybe even gain a little bit of distance with their irons, but not lose that small look. Or
Yep.
And I thought the feel, or I guess I don't have the feel. I didn't hit the shots.
No,
But
it felt
sound,
great.
the sound was pretty solid for all three of them. The Ti Fusion was a lot softer, I guess, in the sound than I thought it would be, given what we know about the materials used. So, yeah, fantastic stuff here from Callaway. The Apex, again, Ai300, Ai200, and the Ti Fusion. I think they're going to make a splash, I think, with these. So they'll be in the fitting bays. Jake will be fitting them. And golfers, if you're interested in them after seeing the performance today, I wouldn't blame you. So schedule that fitting, get with someone like Jake, see what these can do for your iron game. If you feel like you might be struggling, might be really good options here, Jake. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting them in people's hands.